Welcome to this class. I'm Carolyn. Thank you for being here. We're going to start this brief practice by finding a seat, get comfortable, and you can allow your eyes to close. Take a few deep breaths to ground into this moment. And take your awareness into your hands. Notice the sensations in your hands and fingers. Place one palm on your upper chest. Feel the warmth of your palm and feel your breath feeding up into your palm. Welcome yourself. It's so good to be here. Now interlace your fingers in front of your chest so your palms are together and start to make figure eights with your interlaced hands. It might feel a bit awkward, but just allow yourself to get as much mobility as you can. Breathe mindfully. And be aware of all that you're feeling around your wrists and your forearm muscles. Keep circling them around. And keep your fingers laced like this and start to tap on your chest from left to right. Just kind of waking up the lymph glands, waking up any tightness, releasing tightness across the chest. Keep this tapping as vigorous or as light as you like, and take a deep inhale. And say, ha. Don't be shy. Do that again. Pause and breathe. Notice what's going on within. Good. Take your right hand across to the top of your left shoulder and hang your head over to the right. Have your left fingertips walked away from your left hip on the ground. And as your head hangs to the right, just lift your chin an inch for a breath and then tuck your chin down to your right armpit for a breath. And do that again. Lean your head back. Deep breath as your chin tucks down. Let go in your neck as much as possible. You're using your right hand on top of your left shoulder. Start to massage up and down the top of the shoulder, up to the neck, knead with your fingers, and then pulse and massage down to the top of the shoulder. Get into any little sticky spots. Slowly lift your head back up. And switch sides. Tip your head over to the left and use your left hand on top of your right shoulder as your right fingertips crawl away from your right hip. Keep the length up through your spine. Lift your chin slightly with your head hanging to the left. Slowly turn your chin down and towards your left armpit more. Couple more times, chin up. Going for maximum release in your neck, in your jaw, and your tongue. And then using your hand, a little bit of self-massage to invite in even more release. Go up and down the top of the right shoulder up to your neck, or any other little trigger spots. Be aware of your breath as you do this. Come to sitting with your hands on your knees. And make your way slowly onto all fours. Line up your wrists under your shoulders. Let your fingers spread. Let your fingers grow longer. And inhale, lift your chest up. As you exhale, round and flex your spine so your navel hugs up. Inhale to open your chest. Shoulders pull back. Like an angry cat, round your back and tuck your tailbone under you. And again, sit bones lift, tightening your back to open your chest. Exhale, press the floor away from you as you round. Arcing and rounding in these cat-cows. Now come to a neutral spine and actually flip your hands so your fingers face to your knees. Now it's a lot, so you can always walk your knees closer to your hands and stay there. Or you can keep your knees back as they kind of would be in a tabletop, all fours position, without locking out your elbows, a little bend in your elbows. Start to sway from left hand to right hand. Left hand to right hand. How's your breath? If any distracting thoughts come in, redirect your focus to breath. So good to be here taking care of your wrists. And now your fingers. So you can lift the heels of your hands and your thumbs, but still keep your other 8 fingers on the floor. Elbows bend back and down towards your knees for a little bit more. Breathe into your fingers. Sit up and shake out your hands. Sitting up on your knees near the back of your mat, lace your fingers and inhale, reach your arms up so your palms flip up to the ceiling. Sway to the right as you exhale for a side bend. Come up and next exhale over to the left. Slowly come up as you inhale. Side bend over to the right. Hug your navel in as you rise up, breathe in, and to the left as you breathe out. And then reach your arms up as you inhale and round your back. Take your arms parallel to the floor. Then release your hands onto the mat and find yourself with your right foot stepped outside your right hand. Setting up for lizard here. Spin your hands so your fingers face back to your left knee, with your hands still about shoulder width apart. See what happens if you rock from one hand to the other hand. Now, this can be a lot for your wrists, so you would just walk your hands a bit closer to your back leg. Or if you want more, your wrists or your hands walk forward more. Can you still keep your chest broad? Got another breath or so. Whenever you feel ready, you can unspin your hands, bring them to normal, and try a little bend in your elbows so your chest sinks lower towards the floor. Just pausing here in lizard. A little more focus on your hips now than your wrists. A little more breath into your hips. Try to have your front foot, your front ankle aligned under your knee. You may scoot your foot forward a bit more if that helps knee over ankle alignment. And coming up, take your right knee on the mat beside your left knee on all fours, and then swivel your right shin off your mat to the right behind you and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Tent your right fingertips on the floor under your right shoulder and start circling your left arm up, back, down in front of your body, forward. Just take your time, circling your top left arm while pressing your pelvis forward in space and fortifying your back left leg as strong as you can get it. Of course, you could be down on your right palm instead of your right fingertips if that's better. Hold your left arm up, big breath. Try left arm over left ear maybe. Palm down and stretch your top arm away from your straight leg. And for the last couple breaths, could you take your left hand on top of your left hip or half bind your left arm behind you and let your right ear fully hang down to your right shoulder? Your neck will want to hold on. Breath by breath, let your neck release. Hang the weight of your head down. Move out of this one so slowly. Look down, lower your left hand, come to hands and knees. Gently walk your hands back to your knees. Lace your fingers, inhale, arms up. Tip to the right as you exhale. Coming up through center and then over to the left as you exhale. Inhale up. Side bend, keep your bum heavy on your heels. Inhale up. Exhale to the left with straight arms if you can. And then come up, and as you next breathe out, round your back with your arms parallel to the floor. Tuck your chin down. Walk your hands forward. Step your left foot outside your left hand. And spin your hands, so thumbs spin out and fingers start to face back to your knees. Perhaps you'd like to have your hands a bit closer to your right knee or further forward. Just be sure that you're not hyperextending your elbows, because that reduces the amount of stretch that we'll get in the forearms. You want a little bend in your elbows and sway from one hand to the other hand. Notice what your breath is like when you're tapping into a body part that works really hard. We haven't, been giving our hands as much attention as we could be, I'm sure, over the last year. They're doing a lot more work for us now. When you're finished with the wrist stretch, unspin your hands and sink your chest lower. So you give your hips some breath and focus now in lizard. Another breath. Yeah, good. Ease up out of it. Come to hands and knees. And then you're going to swivel your left foot off your mat to the left as you step your right foot all the way back to the back of your mat. Now adjust your left hand. It could be on fingertips or left hand flat. Just make sure your hand is under your left shoulder. And circle your right arm forward, up, back, and down in front of your body. Move at any pace. Activate your glutes as you slowly open up the rotator cuff, the shoulder. You might notice what body parts are affected depending upon where your arm is in space. And eventually stretch your right arm over your right ear so that you're in a more extended variation. Really stamp down your right foot into the mat behind you and reach your right arm away from that. Hug your navel in, stretch your skin. Take your top arm into a half bind. If that's not working, you can have your top hand on top of your hip, so right hand on right hip. Let your left ear hang down to your left shoulder. Really allow for the skull to hang down towards the bottom hand. How much breath can you give to your neck? Remember to untangle yourself so slowly from this. Come onto hands and knees. Walk your fingers to your knees and sit up near the back of your mat. Once more, interlace your hands, go up as you inhale and over to the right as you exhale. Inhaling up and tip to the left. I love repetition. Inhale up and to the right and up. Last time, left. Come on up, stretch your chest up and then round. Hug your belly button in, tuck your chin. Now make fists with your hands so that your thumbs are on the outside of your fingers, and then take the backs of your hands onto the mat. Not your knuckles, but the backs of your hands. Now your knees can walk closer to your fists, or if you want a little more, your knees stay back under your hips. See what happens when you rock backwards and forwards. Could just be a couple millimeters of movement, right? Or a little bit more. Breathe down into your forearm muscles. Your arms might be bent out a little, or arms a bit straighter. So good to be here, connecting to our hands. Our hands do so much for us. They express so much for us. Our hands and fingers need care. They need breath. And then gently sit back on your heels, shake out your hands, shake, shake, shake. Feels good. Come into a standing forward fold on your mat with your feet hip width apart. Let your head hang down. You can circle your fists around a little bit. And then we're going to remain in a standing forward fold with knees bent a couple inches. Gently shake your head no. Notice how the neck feels a bit stuck. Breath by breath, everything can unravel as it needs to. And maybe you'd like to interlace your hands behind your low back now and work your laced hands away from your low back. Imagine that as you exhale, the sides of your waist pour down lower. Now, are you balanced in your feet, or do you have a lot of weight back in your heels? Deep breath. Slowly let down your hands. And with your fingers on the floor, step your left foot back and scoot your right foot over to the left side of your mat so you're in pigeon with your right shin down. And walk your back leg towards the center of your mat, another inch or so. You can stay up or slowly bring your forearms down. Feel free to put a prop under your right hip if you wish. And if you want a little more self-massage, which I do, you can bring your thumbs together and rest the space between your eyebrows onto your thumbs, propped upon your elbows, so that your thumbs are massaging maybe a little bit the space between your eyebrows or at the inner eyebrow on each side. Feel free to stay there or release that as you're ready and maybe come down lower with your skull. Gently switch sides. There's no perfect way to switch sides. I simply swung my right leg back and then I, just from sitting, took my left shin forward. Have your back leg a little more to the center. Option to stay more upright. At any point, you can come lower. And you can prop yourself onto your elbows and interlace your fingers or have your palms in prayer. And let your inner eyebrows be massaged by your thumbs. Just release all the weight of the head down into the support of your thumbs. Give yourself soothing breaths. Give whatever you're feeling in your eyebrows soothing breaths. Yeah, just massage it out lightly, light movements, light pulsations, or just lean in. And either stay there or come lower. Big release. What can you release? No hurry at all to rise up. You can sit on your left side and swing your right leg around in front. Take the soles of your feet together with your knees bent wide apart and brace your hands onto the fronts of your ankles so that you can pull yourself up into a taller position. Take your right ear to your right shoulder, slowly circle your chin down and to the left. And then come up through center. And again, just circling your chin to your right shoulder, down and over to the left. Can you go slowly? We have so many thin layers of muscle in the neck. Right, so these layers are very vulnerable, although incredibly strong. Take it slow with your neck. Now you could stay in butterfly legs and fold now, or like me, you could stretch the legs wide open, spread your toes, and maybe try a little fold in this wide-legged shape so your inner thighs get some release. Totally up to you, or butterfly legs, a few deep breaths. Let your navel hug in, keep an open chest as you bow down. Come back up as you're ready, no hurry, to a seated position with your legs crossed, tall spine, and a big cleansing breath. Notice how your neck is doing, notice how your hands are, and also how's your mind and your heart. Thank yourself for giving back to every part of you. Notice your fingers, thank your hands. Maybe place your hands on your heart. What a gift that you can be here and take care of yourself like this. Thank you for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. See you soon.